Hey guys, GCC2224 here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classic Collection Shredder. This is re-released the 1988 Shredder, and considering the fact that I love Shredder and I didn't have this one, I really wanted it. First off, I'm going to get into the accessories. Now, his accessories, they're on the sprue here. And what the sprue is, it's all the weapons are just on this sprue here, and you really can't twist them off, you have to clip them off. And I really don't like that. You can kind of see how violently I had to take them off. I mean, it was an absolute pain just to get all of them off. If you do want to keep them on, though, you can just stand it up and display it alongside Shredder, and that's pretty cool. But I want to get the weapons off just to get the full enjoyment of the figure, and I don't know. The weapons are pretty cool. Now, the weapons include 2 ninja stars, or shurikens. I dropped one. Let's see if I can find it. It's somewhere. I don't know where. But you get 2 of these. Those are really cool. You get one of this thing. Don't ask me. You get another one of this thing. Don't ask me. You get another one, or not another one. You get this thing. Don't ask me. And you get a katana. Really great assortment of weapons, I have to say. Not a bad selection whatsoever. Oh, here's the other ninja star right there. Not a bad arrangement of weapons whatsoever, and the figure actually is pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a 1988 figure. It is certainly going to be dated. I'm just giving you a couple comparisons. Here he is with my pretty darn incomplete 2003 Shredder. As you can see, he's missing just about everything. And here he is with the new TMNT 2012 Shredder, which I hope to replace with that new one coming out with the cape. Really think they look good. Now this guy doesn't really look anything like he does on the show. He's not blue on the show, he's gray. And this figure just really, I don't know, it may be based more off the comics, I'm not certain, but it looks nothing like it does on the original 1988 TMNT show. I hope that they make a TMNT Classics Shredder, you know, the 6-inch figures. I'd love to see a Shredder in that line, but this is actually a pretty cool figure. The articulation is pretty darn limited. You only get a swivel at the head, you get swivels at the arms, and a swivel at the wrist there, and you get another swivel at the wrist, and you get ball-jointed legs. Now, the legs are probably my biggest problem, because this is how he has to be stood. Just like this. Really wide-legged and just really out there and crazy. Now, I like this for just being a TMNT figure, you know. Whoa, you know, I'm a TMNT figure, I'm gonna stand weird. But, I don't know, I just wish that he just could stand up normally and not have those pre-posed legs. I'm not gonna complain that much, though, because it is a vintage figure and just showing you the size. You know, if he wasn't completely bow-legged like that, he'd actually be one of the tallest out of all 3 there. So overall, he looks pretty good. You can get him in some poses like, "No, I am your father," or you could get him in a smoking pose. If you have a little action figure cigar or something from like the Arkham City Penguin, you can just wedge it in between his fingers and oh boy. Now the sculpting's really nice on it. You know, TMNT Playmates is really known for having nice sculpting, and they really did not miss out on details here. Absolutely love it. The paint, though, doesn't look all that great because, I mean, look at his eyes. They're just black. I wish they had a bit more white in them. I mean, you can see how they sculpted the white of his eyes, but, you know, it's not too terrible. Really like how the mouthpiece is. All around, just really great looking. I love the armor pieces. Now you can remove all of this clothing, and not a lot of reviewers do it, so I'm gonna do it. What you do, you see this belt here, you just unclip it and slip it off. Now looking at the belt here, as you can see, simple sculpting, molded in black. Plugging it in isn't too difficult, but you really want to get your fingernails and just kind of push on it once you get it to connect. And when you tab it out, you should be able to hear a noise, you know, a click. Not sure if it was all that loud there, but you will hear a click. And then what you do, take his head, and there's a hole, of course, and you just kind of wrap it around his face, and then wrap it around the back of his helmet. Now the hole actually is not too small for this. The hole is perfectly sized. You're not going to run into any problems, but you do want to be careful with removing it. And once it's off, as you can see, it's made out of a very soft material. On this side, it's you know, just kind of like a Star Wars cape, and on this side, it's a bit more fluffed, you know, like a blanket. And it feels a bit like the Revenge of the Sith Royal Guard, if you're familiar with that that toy. It is a nice feeling to it. And once you remove it, oh boy, I don't have them. I'm gonna do a jump cut right now so I can compare this to a figure that I'm just like, this looks exactly like this. As you can see, I'm comparing the Shredder to the very thin, very scraggly looking Scarecrow. I mean, just look at this body here. Look at this. That is absolutely crazy. It's like someone just... and he's like dead or something. You can see a bit of paint splotch there and there. But, I mean, look at his back, too. I'm just comparing it with Mr. Crane again. Absolutely weird looking. I really don't see anyone wanting to display this one without that. I'll do a jump cut here, and I'll put it back on. Okay, now that's back on, and there's really nothing going on with that, with it off, because it's just kind of freaky looking, and I really don't want to see that again. With a couple more kind of vintage TMNT comparisons. Here he is with the second... Oh, isn't that lovely? Here he is with the second release, Donatello. He's the only re-released turtle I have that's complete. It looks pretty good. You know, looks pretty good together. I might end up getting some of the more re-released turtles, but nah, I'm not too big on the vintage turtles. I just kind of like some of the bad guys. And here he is with Metalhead, which this actually is the vintage Metalhead, just pretty darn incomplete. So if they can stand, there you go. And overall, I actually really do like this one. I'm gonna give him some of these weapons here, so you can wedge the throwing stars in between his fingers here. And let's just put one on his thumb through the hole. And let's make him hold this, whatever this is. Let's get that in there. There you go. And there's Shredder armed up a bit. Do I recommend this guy? Yeah, I really do. If you're a TMNT fan, some of these classic collection figures are certainly ones you're going to want to pick up. They're available at Toys R Us for, I think, $14.99 or something close to that. Bit pricey for an older figure, but it's not too terrible. I mean, it does cost money to reuse the sculpts and to have such complex packaging as these do. And it also comes down to the, you know, the desirability of these. Not a lot of people are going to want to buy these. Most people still want to get these, you know, the newer ones. So, for casual TMNT fans, I'd say either if you just like the new cartoon, just stick with the new cartoon. But if you really love Shredder like I do, I would certainly recommend this. So, I really guess that's it, guys. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Check out my Facebook page if you have a chance. Have a good day, guys. And, what to say for TMNT? This is my first TMNT video. Booyakasha! I like pepperoni.